Retaliatory U.S.-led airstrikes in Yemen targeted more than a dozen sites used by the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels yesterday. President Biden says he will not hesitate to, quote, direct further measures to protect our people and the free flow of international commerce. Joining us now for more on this is CBS News contributor Sam Vinograd. She's the former Assistant Secretary for Counterterrorism and Threat Prevention at the Department of Homeland Security. She was also involved in Situation Room discussions in the aftermath of the attack on Israel on October 7th. Sam, it's great to see you. Welcome to CBS News. What, in your view, is the purpose of these strikes? And why is the president choosing to order the strikes now? I know that the United States had given several warnings to the Houthi rebels in Yemen, but why at this precise moment was this order given?
Vlad, good morning. The administration and our allies sought to avoid these strikes at all costs. Having been in discussions with members of the administration since October 7th, I can tell you that officials did not want to have to escalate from a military perspective. The problem is the Houthis left the administration and our allies no choice. And that's why, since the Houthis began this escalatory behavior, the administration and our allies took a series of steps to avoid having to get to this moment. We issued a series of maritime advisories to commercial and other vessels. There were sanctions issued. There was a UN Security Council resolution. There were a series of non-kinetic deterrent moves made by the Department of Defense. And unfortunately, the Houthis failed to respond and continued their destructive behavior, likely at Iran's behest. Because of that, the administration and the rest of the coalition that they brought together had to take these defensive strikes. These strikes are defensive in nature, and at this point, what we're waiting to see is how the Houthis respond.
I know that a couple of shipping companies have chosen to avoid the Red Sea, but clearly there are others who are still there. Can you talk a little bit more about just how disruptive these Houthi attacks have been to the shipping industry?
The Houthi attacks against commercial vessels in the Red Sea, where 15% of seaborne commerce occurs, as the president noted in his statement, are already having a significant commercial impact. Major shipping companies have announced that they are circumventing the Red Sea to take much longer routes. That is having an impact on key commodities that typically transit the Red Sea, like grain and energy. Shipping and insurance costs have already gone up as a result of the Houthis' destructive behavior. And unless the Houthis change course, we should continue to see those impacts. At the same time, Anne-Marie, the security implications of the Houthi attacks are already being felt as Iran has escalated its behavior. Our embassies and consulates and military bases in the region are on a heightened state of alert. And we had been thinking prior to my departure on December 1st and pursuant to conversations I had with the White House last night, this is ongoing, thinking about how to protect our embassies, consulates, and bases overseas, while also thinking about potential retaliation by Iran and its proxies for the defensive strikes last night here in the homeland.
You know, Sam, I interviewed the Pentagon spokesperson this morning, and, the one question that we had was, how do we know, or how should Americans feel about these actions? Is this the first shot in a wider war in the Middle East, another war in the Middle East? Obviously, the Pentagon is not going to divulge secrets on national television, but as an analyst, for people who are watching this at home and are wondering, as the actions in Gaza start to have a wider impact in the region, and the United States takes a more active role in the region, could this turn into something that is another war that engulfs not just the United States, but the allies like Britain?
Well, from my time in the administration, Vlad, I can tell you that the president had no desire to see the situation escalate. And as of last night, it was reaffirmed in my conversations that these are defensive strikes and that the administration does not want to see a further escalation. The key factor here is what Iran decides to do. Whether Iran views these strikes as purely defensive in nature and realizes that it has no choice but to stop activating its proxies in the region, that's a decision for Iran. And I would imagine that prior to the president approving these strikes on Tuesday, from what I'm told, he reviewed intelligence on Iran's what Iran's perceptions of these strikes might be and how they would react, and then made a decision based on the trade-off between inaction and the potential Iranian response and what the best course of action is. But I will note, Vlad, we should not just be looking to potential escalation in the Middle East. We also have to be thinking about potential security implications here in the homeland if Iran and its proxies seek to activate individuals seeking to travel here to the United States or elsewhere around the globe. And that's why intelligence and information sharing between law enforcement professionals is going to be key. And ongoing conversations between the president and his intelligence community are happening as we speak.
Sam Vinograd, it's been great talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.